We just absolutely crushed that bounce on Bitcoin and Ethereum as they both just ran up about 32%. We also banked about $15,000 going long US 30 on this bounce. The big question now is this just a short-term bounce before we continue to slide way lower down to 9,000 on Bitcoin, or do we have some more upside to go? That's what we're going to look into today, is where's Bitcoin going from here, up or down?
If you're looking for the next 100x crypto project to buy into, you have come to the right place. My name is Cameron Fous, and I have been a professional day trader for nearly 20 years. I deposited $20,000 into an account, and in just over a year, it's now worth nearly $2 million. On this channel, I'm going to present to you the best altcoins to buy, such as getting into Mana before it ripped 595%, getting into Dogecoin before it ran 15,000%. So if you want to hear about all the best trade opportunities first, hit that subscribe button, and more importantly, turn on the notifications bell so you can get these time-sensitive trade ideas immediately when my new videos go live.
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is not financial advice, just me trying to pick the highest probability, aka predict what's going to happen, sort of. There's two different scenarios. It's either going up or going down. And all we try to do as traders is try to pick the highest probability for which scenario might actually play out. And then if that scenario doesn't play out for us, we have stops in place so we don't take massive losses. It's quite simple. It's not a fucking, hey, let's pick a team and stay there no matter what, even if they fucking lose, okay? This isn't fucking football fandom like Gary Vee, the New York Jets, the losing team. He's always picking the losing team. Why don't you just pick the team that's winning that season? Because that's what you can do in trading, guys, is you can pick a new team every season or even mid-season. If all of a sudden a new team comes up, you can pick them because they're winning. And that's all you do as a trader, is either go long or short and pick which team is currently winning. So that's what we did. Coming into this zone here, we became long biased and we started longing up here. And then as we reached our profit target zone, I became short biased and started shorting here, such as Matic that we got short. This is currently live short here. We got in short up here and just locked in about 25% and then half of our gains down here for about 13% gain, right? So a lot of people come into my Telegram group, the Wolf Pack, where I alert longs, shorts, profit targets, stop losses. They're like, how many alerts per week are there? When's the next fucking alert? That's not how this game works. It all depends on what the market's doing. When the market comes into a buy or demand zone, then I might buy something. When the market goes into a supply or sell zone, I might sell something. The majority of the time, the market's in the gray area, the in-between of those two areas. And during that time, I don't trade anything. I'm either in a position and looking to lock in profits along the way, or I get stopped out. That's all it is when it comes to trading, is looking for areas of supply and demand, entering and exiting in those zones, and in the gray area in between, you do fucking nothing. But most people trade in the gray area because they don't have the balls to get in and out in the supply zones, because those are areas of high emotion and uncertainty. Brief interruption from today's sponsor, none other than Xtra.fun, the world's first DeFi platform with price drop protection. Basically what this is a DeFi staking platform. We're going to be earning yield, and even if the market's dropping and even if the extra token is dropping, they're going to be issuing you new tokens to compensate for the potential losses, so you're not losing money even if you're in a massive bear market. They currently have a market cap of 44 million and the current price of 0.0012. Now let's just take a look and see how this actually works. You are a user. All you got to do is buy Xtra and then stake Xtra. Then you get access to join the Xtra club, of which you then stake. And as you're staking, if the price of the token increases, you're not only earning the 14 to 45% APY through their actual Xtra lending program, you're also earning the appreciation of the value of the token, and then that money goes back to you. But what if the token price actually drops? They're going to be releasing you tokens to cover your losses up to 90%. You can actually recover all those losses to retain the initial value of your initial investment. So why join Xtra.fun, guys? There's shielded entry into the crypto investing space, portfolio diversification tool. You get rewards during both bull and bear markets. You also get access to verified top tier early stage projects through their launchpad. Just for example, here is their Xtra.fun calculator. If you stake for a year, you get 60% 14% price protection. If the price stayed at the same exact price that you entered, you're going to be earning 14%. What if it drops up to 50%? You're still protected and you're still going to be able to withdraw that $3,000 because they'll issue you new tokens upon the price drop. All you got to do to join, guys, create an account with MetaMask, connect it to the Xtra.fun, go into the Xtra staking app and connect to your MetaMask, choose the number of tokens you want to stake and your stake periods, sit back and relax and collect the APY and also get the new tokens if the price token of Xtra actually drops. Just for an example, I'm currently staking 62,210 tokens. That you can see the start value was $53 on June 11th. It's now worth $75 because I've had an actual ROI of 41% so far in just a short period of time. This is a really cool project. Definitely check it out. Xtra.fun. That's our sponsor today. Back to the video. So let's just take a look at currently what happened on Bitcoin, right? We got long down here on Bitcoin. Entry was about 18.5, 18.6, and I was going to continue to DCA because we got in right down here on these wicks. I was going to continue to buy lower, but I would have stopped out if we started reaching below about 17,050, okay? Because that could mean maybe we just could keep sliding, but we had this huge sell-off down here. I started buying in here. Small positions would have added, but we had an instant spike, and then my profit target was the next supply zone here that I drew up here and said, hey guys, this is our profits box. As soon as Bitcoin starts running up in here, this is where we're going to start locking in gains, which was also just so happens to be the Trendex trend indicator. As you can see here, how the Trendex has been playing out. The market's just been following Trendex all the way down, of which Trendex is being released with Krypton X2. Just shameless plug here when that new course comes out. But kind of what I'm thinking might happen here on Bitcoin is we start a new trading range, right? We saw this massive sell-off. Same with here, we saw the massive sell-off, new trading range. Massive sell-off, new trading range. And so I'm thinking we probably will maybe see a range in between this area and then potentially come and retest the actual long-term descending channel here on Bitcoin and retest somewhere in this range before falling back down, potentially sliding lower all the way down to about 12 to 9,000, which is the next huge demand zone for Bitcoin. This is what I potentially see happening, but that doesn't mean there's not trading opportunities in between there, right? We just got long here. Bitcoin and Ethereum both ripped about 30%. We had Matic rip about 100%, okay? And then I got short Matic after that rip, okay? So there's a lot of volatility and opportunities within this, right? My trade here isn't betting that we go to 9 or 12K. I don't fucking know if that's going to happen, right? My trades are what's happening in between here and then. So trying to predict if it's going to 9 or 12K, I don't fucking know if it's going to happen. There's also the alternate scenario where we potentially start ranging here, potentially form up a revival breakout pattern, okay? And then retest this zone right here, which is the actual descending trend. And if that breaks to the upside, that'll be a hugely bullish signal, which will probably come back up and retest 30K. And from there, that's a very, very strong and powerful now resistance zone, as we've seen in here. That'll probably be a tough area to break. We'll probably see a potential bounce up and in there, and you'll probably see a lot of profit taking in that range. And then we could either, form up a new trading range, or we just see another big collapse down all the way down to 9K or 12K. So that's another scenario that could potentially happen. So all we're trying to do here, guys, is find scenarios and plan for them about how we're going to trade them. Right now, we don't really have kind of a clear picture of what's going on. Basically, the last trade that just went down was this massive sell-off. As I stated in the previous tweets, we're going to see a descending triangle to 30K several times over the course of weeks to months, then collapse from 30K to 20K under 2 weeks, right? This was March 23rd, okay? Back when this chart looked like this, up near 48K prior to going down to 1865. What happened? 1 to 2 week consolidation after we cracked down to 30K. Within 2 weeks, right down to 18.5. That's exactly what happened. And now we're kind of just going to see what happens here, right? We don't have a whole lot of market structure to try to kind of gauge what's going to happen next. All there was to play right here was that bounce right into this demand zone, which we played the bounce, and now we took all of our profits long. And now I need more structure, right? So there isn't really that big of a pattern here to kind of gauge anything. So I'm not really long heavy. I'm not short heavy. I have a few open positions here on Bybit. Bybit is my go-to futures trading broker. We got into Matic, already locked in half profits on Matic. Basically, if we look at the chart here on Matic, what I was looking at, Matic has this nice trading range to the downside, okay? Dipped right into the demand zone, ripped about 100% right back in to this level. Okay, now my stops here, we're looking at about if it would break over these levels. I was actually looking for one last spike over these highs here, right? Get a bear trap in, so just kind of fake everybody out, but we didn't get that, so I went in with a smaller position, only 10%, and then locked in about 25% here, and then locked in about 50% here. I'm still short on this trade. If we look at the actual intraday charts, you can see we potentially could be hitting my stop loss level here shortly. I'll lock in the last profit over here for my entry here, and I'm looking for a profit target down to about 48.82. I'm never getting in one entry, one exit. I grid trade. I get in at multiple entries and exits, and I get out at multiple areas because I don't know exactly what it's going to do. I try to plan for all the different scenarios and ensure that I'm locking in gains along the way, and then move my stops away from my entry level so that I ensure that I don't lose any money after it goes into a winning trade. There's also ENJ, which is still in the beginning of this pattern right here. Kind of a similar pattern that I'm shorting on ENJ. Similar right into the upper ascending level of this channel, right into this supply zone or resistance. I'm hoping to see it just kind of fake out everybody, right? We got, this is the 50-day moving average right here. Also, the descending channel, and I'm looking for a pullback off these levels, potentially even a fake out over these highs, and then come back down here, potentially all the way back down to retest the lows of this channel, which is down about 52% on ENJ. But if it gets a sustained breakout above this level, this could just continue to rip, come back all the way up to 77 cents. My only concern on ENJ at the moment is that Matic, right, when Bitcoin and Ethereum lost steam, Matic pulled back about 13 to 15% already right here, already locked in a nice chunk of profit. ENJ has kind of sustained itself while Ethereum and Bitcoin lost steam and started to pull back. That means there's a lot of strength here on ENJ, but doesn't change the fact that it's up, you know, from about 37 upwards of 61, almost 100% gainer in just a few weeks at a resistance level, right? The higher probability on this trade would be that there is downside here, but that doesn't mean that the other side of that probability can't play out, right? It means that the higher probability would be short, but the probability of it actually ripping, going up to 77 to 78 cents is also a possibility. That's why you always have to manage risk, set stops, not get fucking greedy. If it doesn't go your way, who fucking cares? If you set a stop and that stop gets triggered, that's still a good trade. It doesn't matter if you win or lose, as long as you're managing the risk correctly and using the correct stop levels, you're going to be a winning trader no matter what. You can even lose about 70% of the time as long as you're using correct risk management. Doesn't matter if you're losing 70% of the time, you can still make money because you're using correct stop levels, and don't get greedy when you have a losing trade. Another one on here is DOT, which is actually looking super weak. We have this big descending channel right here, potentially going back down over here. But at the end of the day, guys, this all boils down to what is Bitcoin and Ethereum going to do. We have the first bounce up into this range, right into the profit zone, right? We got into Ethereum long at about 970, locked in our profits box. If you look at our Telegram group, right, this is where we got in down here. This was our long stop levels, took in profits in our profits box, all alerted here, guys, inside of the Wolfpack Telegram group, okay? So you can see here, this alert, guys, back in the day when Ethereum was at 967, profit target levels, stop levels, okay? This is what Ethereum looked like back then, okay? Boom, coming up into our levels. Another big trade, guys. I've been trading US 30 a lot as well. You can see we got in long at 29,950 to 30K. These are my profit target levels. I just made $15,000. This is what the chart looked like when we were getting in on the US 30. Going right into our potential profit box, these are target levels here that I was looking for, stop loss levels in place. We look at US 30 here, guys. This thing just absolutely ripped from our entry levels. I just locked in the last of my profits here. We hit T1 and T2. As you can see inside of the Wolfpack here, this is just me updating what's going on, being profitable on these buy-ins here on the actual US 30 trade, and then eventually closing these out. Locked in last $9,600 profit on US 30, about 15 total gain hit targets T1 and T2, locking in those gains on US 30. Okay, so right now, I think the higher probability for US 30 is we're getting into this resistance zone right here. I would be a lot more cautious buying in long right here. We just had a nice rip, also potentially coming back up and retesting this resistance of this new accelerated selling channel here, where we could potentially resell off there. If there's selling pressure across the board in US stocks, there's definitely going to be selling pressure across the board on Bitcoin and Ethereum. So right now, guys, I'm kind of indifferent. I'm not long or short Bitcoin. The only thing I have open are on ENJ and Matic short because they did have a lot of volatility to the upside. And really, if Bitcoin can't break out above the Trendex indicator, we are still in a very strong bearish trend on Bitcoin, and especially if we look at the weekly chart, this is a hugely bearish trend here, but we also have seen a massive sell-off, and we might come back up and retest the resistance level on Trendex on the weekly, which is back up where right in that strong now resistance area at about 30K. So 30K bounce is not off the table for Bitcoin, which is a huge upside from here. That's about a 50% gain from the 20K levels that we're currently at. That is a possibility, but right now we need a little bit more structure on the charts to kind of gauge what's actually happening right here. And just looking at the actual futures of Bitcoin, this gives us a little bit different and clearer picture of what's actually happening. Right, last time on Bitcoin, we had this bear flag forming within this descending trend. What happened as soon as that bear flag broke, we saw a massive downside rip here. Right now, this is still a little bit of an early bear flag. We don't have the full structure here yet, but we have this very strong support here back from these previous levels on Bitcoin. But we are forming another potential bear flag here, but we're retesting now support on this level. So there is the potential for this to actually bounce up this level, retest these highs here, and potentially if we flip over the Trendex indicator, that will be a potentially bullish signal for us for a potential retest of 30K, of which obviously all the altcoins are going to be ripping along with that. So I'm looking for more structure currently across the board right now. I don't have a clear picture of where we're going. I am excited to see how this actually plays out with this new trading formation on Bitcoin. I think there isn't enough time for an actual formation to really create a big move, right? We saw a little bit of time, right? We had about 30 days of structure for us to kind of form up something. Right now, currently, based on the lows, we're only about 12 days in, okay? So we don't have a whole lot of time or structure for this to really set up a powerful move. I think we're just going to consolidate here for a little bit before we really figure out what kind of direction and what kind of structure is going to indicate. But hopefully in the next week or two of trading action, we'll have a little bit more clear picture of what the hottest next trade is. Anyways, that's a wrap for today. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.